Hello everyone. Today I am going to try my hand at dyeing yarn. I've never done it before, but I bought some skeins of yarn from Nomad. It is the Solita DK. It is 100% fine superwash merino wool, 100 grams, 240 yards, 220 meters, one ply, and it's made in Peru. It's so soft. This is what it looks like. It's beautiful. Let me get up like a little bit closer. So pretty, I love it. I already attached zip ties to the end of the yarn and I put it into a big deep pan and filled it with water so it's been soaking for a little bit. You're supposed to soak it like overnight, but I missed that step yesterday. So we're just gonna soak it today for a few hours and I've been kind of like squishing on it to get rid of the air bubbles and all that. I think it's gonna be okay. It smells heavily of sheep. I don't know if that's like the lanolin smell, but it's so sheepy. I also have a ton of acid dye. I would love to do natural dye, but I just don't have any natural dye at the moment. So we're doing acid dye. I have 9 colors. I tried to get like primary colors so that I can mix them, but somehow it turned into a bunch of other colors. We'll see what I can come up with. I feel like I don't really have like a super clear plan in mind of what colors I want to do. I'm just gonna go off of vibes today. That's it. So join me. I just wanted to give you a little bit of a sneak peek of the dry yarn before I cake it up. I think it turned out so beautiful. Oh my gosh. You know, there's some spots that maybe didn't get dyed like this, but like I think it adds to it. I think it's beautiful. I'm pleasantly surprised on how it turned out for my first time. And yeah, I'm really happy with the colors. Oh, amazing. So I'm going to work on this tomorrow and I'll show you what it looks like in a hank and also when it's caked up. I'm so excited. Also, it's so soft and squishy and it smells good. I just love it so much. I have my Swift here. I definitely want to make some hanks just to see what they look like and also cake it up just to see what that looks like as well. I'm gonna try to like crochet something, maybe like a little swatch just to see how it crochets up. Maybe I will knit something, but I haven't broke out the knitting needles in a very long time. I'll show you them though individually and you can kind of see how they look. I have a light like right here so you can get a feel for what they look like. They definitely look different in natural light compared to artificial light. So keep that in mind. Also, I thought it was gonna be way darker when I was first pouring the dye in. The first pour of dye that I did, I was like, wow, that is like highly pigmented, but it doesn't seem like it dyed it too dark, which is great. I wanted that. When I turned the yarn, I put more water in the dye cups so it would lighten them up a bit because I was afraid of them being too saturated, too bright. And I'm not that. I really wanted like pastel and like lighter colors because that's what I'm more drawn to. I also didn't really have a plan. I just poured it on wherever and just had fun with it. I really, really enjoyed the process. I thought it was so fun. It was like painting. I was just having a good time and just honestly going off of vibes. That's what I did. That was my plan. In the last dye that I poured on there, I was trying to get a brown. It turned out more chartreusey. So I used sun yellow, silver gray, and jet black. And I was trying to go for brown, like I said, but it kept turning more green and I didn't want to waste the dye. So I went with it and I poured it on and I think it turned out cool. It really added a good like muted tone to it. Some of them you could say that they look muddy, but like I don't think they look muddy to me. I think they look pretty good. And also in some spots, maybe the dye didn't take as well, but I think that's also cool. I think it's gonna add a nice variation to the yarn. So I'm not worried about it. It's not like they're stark white. I'm happy with how everything turned out. I really love the purple in there that I got. I used lilac for the purple. So I did get some really nice pastel lavender colors, which are my favorite. It's just funky. It reminds me of nature, but it also reminds me of space a little bit. It's like cosmic nature. So nice. It's also so soft and it smells amazing. I soaked it in lavender wool wash and it just really made it so nice. So I'm gonna set up my Swift and my yarn winder and we will get to it. See how this looks. So I'm not the best hank maker, as you can see, but they're all hanked up, caked up, and they're so cool. So this is the first one that I caked up. It is definitely more blue-green, I think, and there's some pink in there as well, but I think it got the majority of the blue-green. And this is the second one. You can obviously see it has more color. It's not just blue and green. Really fun to spin up because there were so many colors coming through and it was so beautiful. I really need a new ball winder. As you can see, it's like the worst. And then here are the hanks. They're beautiful. Maybe this one's more blue-green, but these other two definitely have some pink purple in them for sure. I love this light blue. Whatever I make with them is just gonna be the coolest because there's so many different colors. There's not like a pattern at all. It's just totally randomized and I really, really like that. Definitely need to work on my hank making skills. I tried my best, but they're still kind of loose and I don't know, they'll do for now. So pretty. Like I said, I really enjoyed the process of dyeing yarn. It was so fun. I still have 5 more undyed hanks to experiment on. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I would like them to be a different colorway for sure. Just have some fun with it. I would like some brown. So whenever I figure out how to make brown, I think that is when I will maybe dye the other hanks. I will insert clips at the end of a crochet and a knit swatch so you can kind of see what it looks like when it's kind of put together. So I hope you enjoyed watching this process and watching me dye yarn for the first time. I cannot wait to get back into the kitchen and dye more yarn or fabric. That's something else I want to do so bad, is dyeing fabric and then making things with it. Thanks for hanging out with me and I'll see you in the next one.